Okay, so this is mid-January. It's absolutely stunning today. Look at that mist. And sorry, my truck's probably loud, but I wanted to drive up further up the ranch and check the condition of the snow for foraging. And what can be hard is if there's a hard crust, because that can cut their legs. But some places, like right here, that's hard, but here it's not. It's quite wet, and they can easily dig down. So, and there's places where the snow is not more than 6 to 12 inches, so it's not too deep, and the snow is not too hard. But yet, the horses are all down there, asking me to put out a round bale. Oh my God, you guys, look at the scenery. So I'm shooting this through my bedroom window so you guys can understand the perspective here. And let's see if we can zoom in. You can see the horses are down there. Okay, now this is a collection of old fermented haylage from when there were cows here. I don't even know how many years old those bales are. But what the horses have done is ripped through the covers, and if you go through some of the moldy spots, there's actually some fresh, hay in good condition in there. So I woke up at 7:30 and they were down here. And yesterday, 2 of them were down here. And the day before that, 4 of them were down here. Now, in there is good hay that's in good condition, but it's locked off. And I'm useless at the skid steer. I'm just not really good. I'd probably tip it. So I need someone to come. Maybe my son would be willing, or I got to bring someone in to pick up a bale of the good hay. And then I'm thinking, bring it up to here, roll it out, because in this arena here close to the house, I can put some water. Because horses can forage like they have been. They can dig through the snow with their hooves, and the amount of moisture they get from the wet hay under the snow and the snow itself is plenty of water. I can offer them water, they'll just walk away. But if they're going to have a big bale of dried hay, which they have free and easy access to, then I need to give them a fresh water source with plenty of water nearby, so they don't get too much dry matter and they don't risk colicking. So my whole point about this dialogue is that, again, we're back to the quality of asking the universe, or being clear with reality and the energies in our world, whether those are people or beliefs or patterns or emotional energies, that we require this kind of persistence and clarity of continually being clear about what we want. In this case, I'm the universe, right? I am the one who has the power to make happen what they want. I mean, they could bust into here, but that would cause a lot of damage and a lot of problems for our ecosystem. So, just like you could go and rob a bank, you could go and steal, it's going to cause a lot of downstream damage and maybe not be a net positive. So they're asking the universe, which in this case is me, for what they want. And I'm kind of negotiating with them. I'm like, but You know, if it gets cold and I don't have a water heater, because I didn't realize I needed a grounding rod for the water heater to be 100% safe to not electrocute you. And I didn't get that done before it froze because the instructions for that were inside the box, not outside the box. Like, I have this whole litany of reasons why it's really hard for me to get them fresh water. And also, I really wanted to see if they could be self-sufficient for the winter. Now, what I get from them, because I've checked them, they're all in good body condition. Nobody's underweight. They're in great condition. They are getting enough forage out on the pastures, but the snow is deep right now and they want some hay. You know, whether they want it for a break or a treat or just a supplement. And so then I negotiated with them. I'm like, well, how about I just get some more alfalfa pellets for you so you can have a protein supplement? And they're like, that would be good. But you see them? They're like, no, we still want the hay. And what they want, they keep flashing me pictures. They want the round bale, you know, placed here so it's close to the water source and rolled out. They don't want it in hay net. They don't want it under cover, under the pole barn. They want it here and rolled out so they can lie down in it and eat while they lie down. So they're basically asking for like a little hay spa. And they're not being assholes. They're not threatening me. They're not being aggressive, but they are being very persistent and consistent. So this is the takeaway for us as we're asking the universe for what we want, whatever that is. Look at your ask and check yourself. Am I being persistent and am I being consistent? And you can see, like, they could be out foraging right now. They're just standing there because they're messaging me. So nobody's eating right now and they're willing to say, no, I will go without food for a while to hold my ask, to show the universe that this is really important to me, that I am 100% focused and behind this ask, this request. I'm dead serious. I'm not going to be pushed off this idea. I'm not going to waver. This is really and truly what I want. And I'm willing to sacrifice my time, some food. I'm willing to be a little bit bored, maybe a lot bored, to make this clear to the universe that this is what I want unequivocally without wavering. The mist is coming in as I'm filming, starting to obscure them, but I can still see them and they still stay there and they are still there. They've been there for 4 hours and they've been coming in to eat from the hay bales. There's only a couple spots where they have access, so the dominant ones prevail and the other ones got to take turns. And but this is their consistency. It's been 3 days now, and this is their persistence. Hi, Raven. Thanks for showing up. Whoops. What are you asking the universe for? What is your heart's desire right now? Write it down. And then write down, what are you doing to be consistent in that ask? How are you showing up energetically or physically to consistently make that request clear to the universe or to the world around you? And number 3, write down how long you've been doing it. How persistent are you? Have you just asked a few times and given up? Is that your MO? Do you normally just ask a couple of times or write it down in your journal and then say, oh, well, that didn't happen and move on? So write those things down. Write down your ask, your heart's desire, your request from the universe. Pick one thing. Write down how you are consistently requesting this and in what manner you're requesting. And number 3, write down how persistent you've been. What's your frequency? What quality of intention and ask are you holding? How are you holding it? And in which ways? Physically, energetically, emotionally? Write it all down. So try to get the horses round bales yesterday and the skid steer got stuck in the snow. But look at them this morning. Macaw and Juno, just right outside the house, staying. They're all close by, saying, "Hey, where's our round bales?" Holding that holding that intention. So got a guy coming with the snowplow, gonna dig out the skid steer, gonna dig out a better entrance to the pole barn, and hopefully by the afternoon they will have their round bales. But these two are just, yeah, can feel it so strong from them. Not a moment to waste. We're on it. Okay, happy horses. They have a whole round bale, 1,400-pound round bale rolled out there so that everybody has a spot at the table with no quibbering. I mean, they do, but it's not bad. And then down under the pole barn there, we have 2 more 1,400 round bales covered in hay nets. And so there's 2 spaced a good distance apart, so 4 can eat from each bale. And again, there won't be any conflict or aggression or anything like that. And then they've got to come through that gate there and come up here, and they've got a big water trough there, so with a heater in it, so that'll be fine. And they know that the water's there. I showed it to them and they all looked and heard the sound of it, so we got a pretty happy herd here. So I've been watching the horses through the window again, and Cobra and Zeta are lying down in what's left of the hay bale having a nice nap. Cobra was flat out for a little bit, and the rest of the horses have been here and pointing out to the open field because that's where they want to go. And Juno is already, can we see him? Oh, he's come back a bit. Juno was already further up the field, but he's come back, and so is there, and they're waiting. And this is another quality of how a herd works that I pay extra special attention to, because as humans, we don't know how to work as a herd, which is why our leadership and our planet is in trouble. So these guys are not sacrificing their desire and the messaging of their desire at all. They are being very clear with what they want to do and their goals, but they also will not force these 2, and they will not leave without them. They are waiting for these 2 to be ready to go so that they can move as a herd. So these are very interesting messages for us to think about in our own human dynamics. Like, think about situations within your family where, maybe 2 people want it and 3 people don't. When we get to this place, we don't wait for anybody. We just take a vote. Majority rules, we're going, and we go. So what's the lesson for us here? And at what levels does this apply, right? Like, this is a herd. The herd would be the equivalent of a family. So maybe this isn't a lesson that applies to local government, for example, or strata council, where people are not in an intimate grouping and they're not family. Maybe this illustration of how we support and we wait for people to be ready is more applicable to a family structure. Now Zeta's up, but Cobra has gone flat out. So I'm filming through 2 panes of glass. But if I open the door, it will change what's happening outside. So I need to film this from inside the house for you guys. So everyone else is still in their positions of waiting. And who knows, maybe Cobra really needs a deep rest, and everyone else, whether they're aware of it or they just honor it. Everybody's waiting. So Cobra sat up, and after about 3 or 4 minutes, Zeta as you can see, walked away from him. The other horses are still in their same position. There's Zoe and Juno. It'll be interesting to see whether these guys, after standing here for so long, just end up coming back to munch on the round bale, or if they do actually head out. Oh, Zeta's coming in here to get some water, probably. Can see the water trough there. And then there's also minerals in that feeder there, and in the other feeder that's out next to Cobra. Nothing's happening quickly today. That's all I can say for sure. So we'll just check back in with them when Cobra gets up, maybe. So we've had a fair amount of movement, but Cobra's back flat out. And he's got Macaw there with him now. And the others are still signaling, let's go. Maybe Macaw came over to kind of like say, hey, Cobra, do you want to get up, dude? And Cobra's like, no. There we go. And Sione's heading back out. And Zeta's heading back out. And Cobra's up. And the other three still waiting. So let's see what happens. Horse TV. Oh, now Cobra's going to need some water, and he's going to need some minerals. Oh. Okay, so Montaro's made his way back. He's munching on the hay there. Cobra's munching on forage inside this arena. The only one holding out to get going and get out there is Zoe out there. She's the only one still holding the intention, but maybe she's gonna give in too. Juno's come up to there. He's not eating, he's not participating, but he's changed his direction. Oh, and here we go. Zoe has just walked in. She's given up. She's like, okay, this is the new reality. This is where we're going to be. Fine. Taro and Juno and Cobra still in the red arena here. So that's it. The motion was put out to move out in the field and leave the round bale. And then not enough gumption behind that, I guess. And now there's a different plan. Where are you going, Zoe? And she's like, I'm gonna stand here and ask. I thought this was over, but I guess it's not over. Either that or she wants a seat at the table down the bottom there, and that's what she's asking for. She wants Sione to let her in there. That could be it. Where's Taro going? Okay, so it looks like all the nice hay is what's left down the bottom there. That's Zeta. The mist is coming in quite strong now. Cobra's itching his belly. Montaro had a big roll, actually in exactly that spot earlier today. Oh, it's getting so misty. So, Sione's still eating. It's even hard to see. Pose is still eating. The interesting thing is, I don't think anyone's figured out that there's two more hay nets, like two more round bales covered with a hay net in the pole barn back down there. So I guess we'll leave it for them. But there you have it, an afternoon, Sunday afternoon of horse TV. Just spending the time watching and understanding your horse's signals, understanding how they communicate, their body language, their herd dynamics. And Zosie, are you going to finally get your chance to come in and get some of the hay you wanted? Yep. And this movement, like, we can put our human judgments on it. If this horse is a bully and that horse is selfish and this, but what you have to understand for a herd is movement is key. If you don't have horses that are moving continually, you get horses that are not healthy. So you have to look at it under that context, that it's not only normal, but it's how, look at the mist is just clearing as we watch. There's the pole barn, you can just see it. It is normal and healthy for horses to move continually. So that helps to make their herd dynamics make a lot, and the whole herd ranking thing, where the least dominant horse gets moved a lot and the dominant horse moves everybody, that whole ranking system starts to make a lot more sense because it really promotes movement. Wow, Zeta just moved Zoe. Sometimes Zoe is the lowest and sometimes Zeta is the lowest, and that one, those two toggle back and forth. Okay, so that Zeta, sorry, the horse heading down the barn road is Posa. No, it's Montaro. Because Posa's up here, I can see the star. It's Montaro who's figured, of course he's figured out there's hay down there. Macaw's thinking about following him. My guess is when he doesn't come back. And then Juno is watching Dad really closely. So Juno will probably head down there next. I bet you Juno and Macaw will figure out that Montaro's onto something. It's crazy the way Juno, like, it is so slippery out there right now. Let me tell you, I am walking on those roads like with one foot forward and the other, like, kind of like tobogganing position, because you can just hit solid ice at any moment. And Juno and Taro run around like nothing. All right, I'm going to end this video because let me tell you, this is going to go on, but I'll tell you right now, Montaro's figured out that there's hay down there, and Juno and Macaw are going to follow him, and eventually these guys will make their way down either today, or they might spend today eating what's left of the rolled out bale here, but tomorrow they're all going to be in the pole barn for sure. Cobra's still content to forage up here.